Hello, this is Mr. Woodruff, and I'm here to continue showing you how to make the mousetrap car assembly in SolidWorks using the files that I supplied to you. In the last video, I showed you how to copy and paste the files from the read drive over to the read-write drive. Okay, now we're going to use those files that are in the read-write drive to start to create your SolidWorks assembly. So the first thing you should do is open SolidWorks. So I'm going to come in here to SolidWorks 2021, and I'm going to open up SolidWorks 2021. This is going to take 30 seconds or so to open, and just while this is opening, basically what we're going to do is create an assembly. An assembly in SolidWorks is just parts that you create in SolidWorks that you ultimately put together to create some sort of contraption. And in SolidWorks, they call that an assembly. So when SolidWorks open, what we want is we don't want a new part, we want a new assembly. Okay, so I click on assembly. And when I open a new assembly, the first thing SolidWorks is going to ask me is, what part do you want to start the assembly with? Because remember, assembly is just parts put together. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to make sure that I'm opening the right file. So up here at the top, we can see the file pathway, and we want to make sure we're in the shared drive. So the easiest way to do this is to come over here to the left and scroll to the top and click on this PC. Okay, then over here on the right, make sure you go to the student read-write drive. So CHS student underscore capital R, capital W, dollar sign. So I'm going to double click and open that up, then find the Mr. Woodruff folder, and then go to your class folder. So if you're in period 2, go to period 2. If you're in period 3, go to period 3, etc. Now, because I saved those files into the shared drive into period 2, I'm going to go into the period 2 folder. So I'm going to open up the period 2 folder, and right here you need to find your name. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down and find Mr. Woodruff, which is right there. So I open that, and then remember, we've made a new folder for these files, and it's right here, mousetrap cars. So I'm going to open that up, and at the top now you should be able to see the following pathway. This PC, CHS student underscore capital R, capital W, that stands for the read-write drive, and then Mr. Woodruff's folder, period 2, and then this should say your name, right? Like Chris or Pedro or whatever it is, right? This says Mr. Woodruff, and then mousetrap car folder. Now I want to open up this mousetrap car base, and this is what I want to enter in as my first part in my assembly. So I click mousetrap car base and I click open. And this is going to open up that part, and what I can move it around, but what I want to do is I want to set it in SolidWorks. So I'm going to left click, and that's going to set this into SolidWorks, and now I can't move the part. Okay, so now I've imported the first part into my assembly. Next, I want to add my second part into the assembly. So I'm going to come up here to the assembly tab, and if you don't have an assembly tab, that probably means you opened a SolidWorks part and not an assembly, and you need to go back and create a new assembly. And to create a new assembly, you can come up here to this new tab at the top and click new. And then instead of choosing part, click assembly and then click OK. And that would get you back into the assembly. Okay, but I'm just going to use this assembly. And what I want to do is under this assembly tab, I want to click on the button that says insert components. And it's showing a file folder with a part coming out of it. So I'm going to click insert components. And now I want to make sure I'm in the right file pathway, right? CHS student read-write drive, Mr. Woodruff, period 2, and then your name, and then mousetrap cars. And I want to insert this side frame. So I'm going to click on the side frame, and I'm going to click open. Right? And now it's going to pull this side frame in here, and I can put this side frame pretty much anywhere I want in here. I'm just going to put it off to the side here. I'm going to left click, and now my side frame is inserted. If you want to rotate the assembly, hold down the middle scroll button, so the middle button on your mouse, hold that down and move the mouse around, and you can turn this around. If ever you want to get back to that isometric drawing, hit Control-7 on your keyboard, and it'll go back to that isometric drawing. I'm going to stop this video here, so I'm not overwhelming you with too much information, and then I'll pick this up in the next video.